Dispensary Deets episode. We have the Twisted Sista here with us in the house today. And you're from Crystal. That's where your shop is, right?
That's where the shop is, yep.
Yes, and that's not too far from here.
No, it's about a half an hour drive.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Twisted Sista. First of all, love the name.
Oh, thank you. Well, I came up with it. I have two sisters, and I've always been called the Twisted One. So I put that together. And then I also ride a Harley, so I'm also riding with my twin sisters all the time. So I just put the two together, the Twisted Sista.
Love it. So you're just a super badass chick. That's what I've got.
I don't know about that, but I try.
So how did you get into the business? Like,
so when Michigan first came around and it had their medical cards, I got mine back in 2010, and I've always wanted to do a dispensary. I'm associated with Dave Overholt, so I was kind of in that group, and he, I worked for him for a little bit when he did the first dispensary until the state stopped everything.
That's a really nice way of putting that.
Yeah, they did. They stopped everything. And then I've always wanted to, and then a couple of times I've talked with a couple of friends, to do it, and it just never happened because, the state always would come in and then shut everybody down, So then when it started to become legal, and it became legal down in Oklahoma for med, I have family down there, so I was going to go down there. It's a little bit easier to do it down there than it is here. Right. And right when I went down there, the pandemic hit. So the attorney that I hired refunded my money. He's like, the state's stopping everything. They're not going to do any licensing. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Yeah. And I'd been talking with Dave all of that time, and he said, he says, well, forget about Oklahoma. He said, I've got something for you. So he kind of dropped it in my lap.
I love Dave, first of all. Did you know that we know each other?
Yeah, yes. I know he's been on here a couple of times.
Yeah, he and my husband are friends, and he has been like, when we moved here, we didn't know, like, we just started in the weed industry, and like, I don't even remember how we got hooked up with him. I think a farmer we knew that like we were renting the field from. He's like, oh, you gotta meet my buddy Dave. Right. And like, little did we know, Dave is like the godfather of weed in West Michigan.
Right, yeah.
He knows everybody and is just like the nicest guy and will help you in any way. So, love Dave. I love that he helped you.
Oh yeah, if he wouldn't have went, hey, here you go, right, I wouldn't be on the path I am now.
You know what's funny about that? The reason we have this episode right now is for that very reason. I would love to take credit for like the Dispensary Deets segment idea. That's Dave. Like that's who came up with this idea. He's like, you need to do this, and I was like, you're right.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. That whole group. Without the support, I wouldn't have learned how to grow like I did and have the knowledge that I do. So it all started 10 years ago.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome. So are you part of the guild? Are you?
No.
No, you're not a member of the guild. We're not either.
No.
Yeah, we were thinking about it, but that's I don't know, it's like a little bit, not that there's anything wrong with like gathering and like doing that, but it makes me feel uneasy when it's like, okay, it's a secret location every time because we can't let anyone know when we're meeting, and I'm like, okay, why is it so secret? I thought we weren't doing anything wrong.
Right.
So for those reasons, I'm out.
Right. I have my hands full. We're so busy, trying to keep compliant and learn everything, and they change the goal lines all the time.
Oh my God, I can't believe
it's ridiculous.
Right now is like the craziest time to get into this, level of this industry. So I'm just hard. Like, kudos to you. Yeah, it's crazy. Hard. Like, we just got our rec license approved. We're coming time, the closing time where we gotta get our building approved and all that. And just starting the stupid red tape bullshit has everybody just like in migraines all the time. We're like, what do you mean? They just changed this? You can't just change this.
I was so bitchy. I mean, through all of it. And then you think, when you go through the construction part and you get through the state part, that the headache's over. No. It's really just begun.
Right.
I mean, that's really the easy part. The hard part is all of the software, keeping everything compliant, because Metric is not the best. and your POS is a POS.
A government-run
you know?
program isn't the best. I'm shocked.
You know, and we have stuff that changes in our computer that we know the day before was correct.
Right.
You know, and nobody says, well, it's not the software. Well, it is.
But it is. But
know?
it is. Oh, that's frustrating.
But it is. So it is. But yeah, if I didn't have all of the support from the family and friends and Dave that I had, there's no way I could have made it this far.
Yeah, that's
it's
really,
a lot.
It's a lot.
It's definitely a community effort.
It
Getting
is.
into something
It
like
really
this.
is.
Yeah.
Every part of it is so important, no matter where you are in the industry. I feel like that's why the people that have like bad intentions that get in this industry don't make it.
No. We've just been just under 120 days, and it's been quite a learning curve.
That's a substantial amount of time though for a new business. Like you've learned a lot in this time. So that's,
yeah. And without my my growers supporting me and guiding me, you know, Old School Organics, Grown Rogue, Kyle from Easton Craft, Chris from High Life Farms. If I didn't have the support of all of those, and Scott from Cannabis, when I first started, I probably would have failed.
See,
You know, so.
I know, and like that's the situation that a lot of growers have been in, and like it's hard, especially when it's hard to be an entrepreneur anyway. Like when you're an entrepreneur in any industry, it's an uphill battle, and that few succeeded. And like in this industry, it's like they just like flip the playing board over, and like you gotta start over every time. So it's like, if you can make it here, I think you can do anything. So.
Yeah, and it's definitely a group effort. You know, I'm on a lot of the professional sites, and it's really nice to have, you know, all of that support.
Yeah.
You know, any question you got, everybody's so helpful.
It is. It's so nice to have that. Like, when we first moved here and started getting into the weed industry, we had no idea what we were doing. We didn't have anybody here that we knew at all, let alone like new in the weed industry, and like trying to come at it from like, even though like I've smoked weed forever, my husband smoked weed forever, coming at it from like an outsider's perspective like that was like, thank God I like grew up here in Michigan and like happened to know somebody that knew somebody, and then we got hooked up, and then it just started happening. But like, if you don't know anybody and you're not trying to make friends, good luck.
Right, exactly. If when I first started growing, if I wouldn't have had Dave Overholt and Todd Hatter to help me, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did. I wouldn't have had the good product that I had. I mean, they gave me so much guidance.
Yeah.
You know, it was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
So do you have local caregivers in your shop?
We do. Easton Craft is one of the ones that I carry. Old School Organics is out of Lapeer. They do everything by hand. It's quite an operation. I was so impressed. You know, Grown Rogue is out of Oregon. They've made their way into Michigan, so they've had a long time doing it. But it's a really good product.
Yeah, of course.
You
I mean,
know,
that's
and-
So do you
and then
have
we
the
carry-
chef's solvent? Is that what I see
Not-
up there?
I'm not sure where you saw. Oh, the Chiefs. Yes, we carry theirs. Theirs is a prepackaged flour. The Chief Sullivan. It's premium. It's pretty good, and that's through High Life Farms.
Okay.
That's one of their products. Yeah, we've been very impressed with it. They just came out with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I've seen this logo online.
Mhm.
I'm like, it's popping out at me.
I know. You brought us so many goodies. I feel like we need to go through the goodie bags here.
Yeah, if we could give a little bit of a shout out
Absolutely.
to
Yeah,
all
let
of
me
my guys that I carry.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so let's start with his Fresh Coast. Love the name. Watermelon sour gummies. These are delicious, I bet. I can't wait.
They are very good. They taste like a Jolly Rancher,
Oh, yum.
and
Yes.
they're vegan friendly.
Oh my
and
God.
they're really good.
What's the milligram dosage on those?
Those are 10.
10.
There's 10
And
tons
they're
in there.
vegan, so if you want to show those, because I know people really like the vegan options.
Ooh. Hold on. Why is it so like reflecting? There we go. Ooh. Yes, those look amazing. What is this cute little pen here? Camino Midnight.
So that's a Camino.
Midnight?
That's the gummies that we
Ooh.
carry. They're part of the High Life Farms
This is so cute.
with products that they carry.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, and then this is also from Fresh Coast. I'm so excited.
Fresh Coast, their dabs are amazing.
Take a peek
I've
and try
tried their
their-
dabs before, and they are good.
They are
I,
good.
Yep, I brought 2 of my favorites that we carry,
My
and
goodness.
I exclusively carry them and Candies.
Oh.
This is amazing. You smell this? Let's do some of that right now.
I do. I have that right here.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Light it up.
We'll
and
leave it
Yeah,
right
we'll
here.
do the ones that I brought. Those are
Yeah.
for you girls.
Oh, well, thank you. I love your nails, by the way. Those are so groovy. They're daisies. and
Those
stuff.
are
Oh,
cute.
thank you.
Oh my god, I love them.
Mine.
What? Okay, so we have the Camino we just talked about. Universal.
There's Flourish soft gels that are fast acting. You've got a couple of Flourish pre-rolls.
Ooh, is that what this is?
Nope, those
this one
are,
right here.
yep.
Fancy.
Yeah, those
Ooh,
are pretty
sour
good.
diesel.
Flourish is
Mhm.
local. Flourish is part of that group that is started out with Dave.
Yeah. Michelle used to work at Fresh.
They have good products.
And this is Liftoff.
Liftoff is another High Life Farms. That's a drink enhancer.
Ooh,
Ooh, really?
You put it in your drink. It's really
Oh,
nice.
Wow.
I'm taking
I've
this
not
on our
tried
ski
that
trip.
yet.
I'm so excited. Lift off. Okay. And what is this? Miss Petra?
The Petra, that is
Oh,
a
mints?
cinnamon mint. Those are
Oh
2.5.
my god, these are so cute.
They're very addicting. Very
Just
addicting.
2.5.
Those are popular. And
Yeah.
I remember when I worked at the dispo, I mean, people would come in left and right for the mints. I was like, I swear.
They're
the-
so easy
it
and
was like
discreet.
pop-
And for the
all
older
day.
crowd too, you know, they're not too heavy when they,
Right.
but, you know, for people who don't medicate at all. So
Right.
I mean, like when the older crowd would come in and be like, I've never done anything before, never like I need something. Oh, they'd get hooked on the mints.
Oh my
yeah.
god, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm not kidding. They'd be turned
I'm
on
just
the mints.
thinking,
I'm
like,
they're
Yeah,
fucking
it's a nice micro
Yes.
dosing.
I love it. Yes. A
for somebody who
microdose
like
of
has
weed.
never smoked, you know, because you know
Mhm.
you really feel it that first
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So 2.5 is perfect, and I mean people loved it. It's the perfect way to
It's a
ease
good way to
someone
start
into
out,
it.
yeah. Because
I
some of your
like it
gummies
a
are
lot.
0.10 or 10 milligrams.
Dude, some
That's
gummies
really
are too
hard.
much, and you can't just really just take a nibble.
Especially
Just-
for like a new person, you know.
right?
Right.
Oh. So this is the last one on here, the Canopy Extracts. Which look at that logo. I'm afraid
Scotty's
of
out of
this being-
Chesney. He's a local guy.
Chesney? Oh, I love Chesney.
I really like the logo on that box.
Yes.
He does
oh,
an
this
awesome
is cute.
job.
Let's check.
His
They're
products
like-
are
here.
just as premium.
I love that this is a like honeycomb shaped box. This is so cute. Oh, and this looks good through the glass.
And I like
Ooh.
that on the box it actually tells you the terpene percentage as well. Did you notice that?
I did not.
That's
notice
incredible. That's
Yeah, he
definitely
does
I feel
amazing.
like everybody should
Ooh.
start going towards that way, you know, listing the terpenes
Because
and
they
stuff like
they
that.
get you
Right.
and they're like they use trickery and they're like, oh, this tested it, yeah. And so they're like, oh, that's how much percentage
Right, but really
THC
it's
is.
good to know the
not.
terps, especially if you're going in there for medicinal purposes, you know, to see people, you know, exactly where they're gonna hit and how they're gonna help you. So
Which is
I
what
I
we do.
love seeing that. Like I love seeing this. It's the way all the packaging I really feel should go.
They're more and more going to it because more of the science that they're coming out with and all of the studies are showing that the indica and the sativa aren't really a true label.
Exactly.
You know, that it takes the whole 100 cannabinoids that are in that, each plant, in
Yes.
order for you to actually get the benefits.
Yes, and that's
So
what I
a lot of
tried
them
to-
are
yeah.
really starting to hone in on their terpene content, which is awesome. Those are the growers that I have. They've all tuned into that. So everything that we have, you can look under the microscope. It is amazing. All of the trichomes,
Wow.
the taste and the flavors are all there. I went and I tried everything before I bought it,
Oh, that's great.
just
that's a
to
great
make
job.
sure.
Yes.
That's the way to do it.
I need
for
to
sure.
do product testing. Can't be bothered.
It's not that bad, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
So let's load one of these up. Let's
Dude,
do
do you
the,
mind if I do a nectar collector?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. Whatever, dealer's choice. What's your most favorite one?
I do the nectar collector.
The nectar collector?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But do you want to put wax inside?
I'll put
you're-
wax in.
Yeah, I was
you're-
gonna say she
yeah.
needs.
I
she'll
need,
do
girl, I
the
can't.
puff
I'm.
She'll be lit.
I can.
That's a runts.
Smoke break.
That's probably too
So
much.
Christina is smoking on Runts
Runts.
from
Fresh Coast.
Fresh Coast,
Let's use this little guy here.
and I will be dabbing the
It is Blackwater Diamonds
Blackwater Diamonds
from Cannabis.
from
Ooh.
Canopy's. Yum. This looks amazing.
They both
Like,
look
look at
amazing. Oh my god, it's so sugary.
Yes.
And they're both just like beautiful color, amazing smell.
Oh, is this one just a push?
Yep. It might have been turned out.
Oh, I need one of these. This is so much easier than having to twist the knob and push the thing a bunch of times.
They run out fast though. I have a little one and I just.
That's not so bad. The little
Yeah.
ones run out fast. The big one doesn't
Yeah,
because
this
it
one's
heats
fine.
up so much faster.
Is that from your shop too?
No, I actually got that online.
Oh, our comments went away. I see your comments, guys. I'm gonna read them. Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that
This
great?
tastes really good. I'm proud of it. Two.
Good
Did I?
one. Go ahead and do it again. I'll have it.
I was like, I feel like I didn't get it. See, I'm used to getting a big old cloud. That's why for me, I'm like, I need a tampering.
I needed to.
I like to be to the point where I'm like coughing my head off.
If
and
I'm
like,
not
that was a
joking,
good
it ain't
dab.
working.
Exactly. If I'm not
Well,
joking,
these are
it
pretty
ain't
smooth,
working.
so you shouldn't be. These are pretty
Oh.
premium.
Oh, Crystal says you need a terp pen. What's a terp pen?
I do have a seahorse, if that's what she's talking
There
about.
we go.
Is it a seahorse?
That was good one that
A
time.
seahorse. That sounds fun.
It's just a little dab pen that's electronic. This
An
hits way
electric.
better.
I have an electric one, and I think I broke it because of just user error.
Oh,
Just-
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to do. These electric things, they're just like finicky.
Right.
From Boundless Technologies, she said.
They're starting to talk terps here in Florida, finally.
Finally.
It's once I get my customers onto
She
the
posted
terpene
about-
profile, and they really start to pay attention to that. They come back, they tell us thank you,
Yeah.
you know, and if I didn't have my growers telling us about that and teaching us about that
Right.
before we opened, I would have never known either.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and it's really a big deal.
It
Yeah,
is,
and
and it's
it's-
important. I feel like it's important for the growers to be educated and also helping the dispensaries and all of the employees. Like, I feel like that should be a standard as well. Like, if it's your product, you should come in there and you should train the bud tenders and the staff
do.
on.
They do. I've been lucky. All
You've
of
been
mine
lucky,
have.
yeah, because I've
All of
definitely
mine
been
have.
in places where they don't, you know, it's like I'm like fighting tooth and nail to get them to come in and talk about their product to the bud tenders, you know, so
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like that should be a standard for sure, and I'd love to hear that they're doing that for you, because that's
Oh,
incredible. And I know
the-
you're working with a lot of local caregivers, so that makes a big
Right,
difference as
right,
well,
right.
because the Michigan community is honestly so educated, and they're so well versed that they want to educate
Mhm.
people, so I feel like that's kind of the difference too, versus like different shops, they're in it for different reasons, so they're not really interested
Right.
in getting
Well,
all the educational
And I fell for
background.
I got into the social equity program too. So a lot of these guys, I mean, like I said, they've been so amazing. You know, I can't shout out enough. That's on our Facebook and our Instagram and our TikTok. I'm constantly shouting out to all of my guys that I carry because they are just so supportive. I really couldn't have been here without them.
And honestly, like you said, it's so important to have the support of
Mhm.
the Michigan community. Like, you
It
have to
is.
have the Michigan community backing you up, especially in
Mhm.
Michigan. It's a tight knit community.
It
Like, you
is.
have to, you know, you have to be able to network with
You gotta
people.
play nice.
Yeah.
You gotta
Oh,
play
yeah.
nice.
But
That
there's
is like-
a lot of them are up and coming. I mean, there's more
And
opening
I'm just
up
so
every
happy
day.
to hear a lot more local caregivers are able to
Oh, I'm
get into
so
the
glad,
market
yeah.
and actually succeed, because I know for a while it was really hard for them to get in, you know.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard to get so many of, you know, my people in, but it was like so many loops and holes and so expensive to get a caregiver in, you know, to get their
Oh,
product, so it was like
right.
not worth it in the end, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to hear that, you know, different avenues are opening up for them, because they deserve it. They're the ones who paved the way.
For sure. For sure.
They did when they took away, like when I first started, I had to have that $300,000 attestation. Somebody had to say that they had the $300 or $300,000. They had to prove it that they had that for me to get into this. And then halfway through the game, the state got rid of that. So rec, you don't need that anymore.
Right.
You know, so they actually did kind of make the playing field a little bit better with the recreational than what they did for the medical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
You
made it
know.
so hard. It was like
Yeah.
basically, unless you are rich, like how
Mhm.
else are you
How
going
are you
to do
gonna
that?
It's ridiculous, you know, like I begged and borrowed and you know, I'm like so in debt, it's ridiculous. But even to get in this game, it's about $1.5 million just to get in.
Oh yeah.
And that's just a start, and that's only for a small store.
Yeah.
That's not a grow or processing or anything like that.
Oh,
you
your
know.
process.
I mean,
and
it's
you can't,
expensive
and
for,
like transport,
to do that.
like
Yeah.
every little thing they nickel and fucking dime you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like the prices just go up. It's like up 20% from last year. It went way down, but it's more expensive than it was last year. Hemp, like we were growing hemp, and like we're still going to renew our license to do Hemp Fest, but like when we got into growing hemp 3-4 years ago, it was $100 for your grower's license to grow hemp, and nobody had to come out and see your field. You had to send in soil samples, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And like now, it's a $2,200 last time we checked.
Oh yeah.
And you gotta have an inspector come out and see your field. You gotta have soil samples, and you have, like, there's some other loop you gotta jump through. And if you test hot for hemp, they'll burn your fucking field down. This is barbarian shit, dude. Like, you can't just burn crops down. That's such a waste. That's such a just like, especially over 0.2%. Do you know how small of a percentage that is of THC? Nobody's getting high from that. That's not weed.
No,
like,
not at all. Not at all. That's crazy.
So that's annoying.
Yeah, the state, halfway through, right before we actually opened our doors, threw in this new insurance stuff that we have to carry. So we have to have another insurance policy, which they don't make any other business in the state carry it. They only allowed 3 carriers, and it cost you $7,000.
Of course, because it's
And
if
and they all charge the same thing, so it's not like you can shop, you know. And my thing was, well, why is it like this? They're like, well, it's a new business, and I'm like, no, it's not. Marijuana's been in Michigan since 2010.
Right.
It's not new. It's been in California, in Oregon, in Colorado. It's not new.
Right. But
You know.
they make their own rules every
They
state.
do.
So
It's crazy.
It's the Wild West.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the part that gets me is like, yeah, I want weed to be legal, but like, do we want the government and weed? Like,
We do not want the federal
I don't
government
think
in
so.
it. You know, if they would just declassify marijuana, that's all they have to do. They're lying to people when they're saying, we have to redo the banking, we have to redo this. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't, because the bank won't touch it because it's illegal. Once it's not illegal, it's cool.
Right.
There's no reason to change all these laws and have the federal government get in. All they're gonna do is it's gonna end up costing everybody about 37% in taxes.
It's
I mean,
so
we
stupid.
don't want the federal government in this. Don't vote for that.
No, that's the thing. Like, I didn't understand that, and then I got into this industry, and I'm like, never did I think I would be voting against this. Like,
The states all have it covered. They've all made their own laws. They're all working.
right.
We don't need
We're
the
fine.
federal
We're
government to
fine.
come in. Right.
Stay out
Right.
of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I feel about most things that the government are involved in. Well, we won't get into that now. The show's about weed. Let's stay happy. Focus.
So I did bring 3 different pre-rolls for us to do.
Ooh.
2 that are our house pre-rolls, and then 1 that's actually an
I'm
infused.
so excited to try
And
that
that's through
infused
Earl
one.
I
King.
know, we should
Oh.
try it.
And what they do is they actually go right down through the middle, so it's infused through the middle after it's rolled. I was very impressed with the way it burned. Let's try it.
Yes,
It's
please.
awesome.
I know. I'm like salivating over here. Do you have a lighter? Does anyone have a lighter? This is the studio. We should have a lighter.
I do in that jacket over there.
Or you could use the torch too.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, look at us.
Solution.
We're high, huh?
Right.
Oh, comments keep going away. Oh yeah, because like
What is it? 420
Oh,
problems,
sorry.
420 solutions, or whatever.
420 problems, 420 solutions. I love it. It's awesome. Oh, I apologize about it being so cold down here.
Oh, you're
It's
good.
like
You're good.
Ooh, that's
So
amazing.
we've hired our first community member, which is exciting. You know, we know that we want to really try to, as we get up and going, really try to get back into our community. Our fire department there in Crystal is really important to us. They kind of do like triple duty because they have the racetrack that's there, and then we've got that big lake that's there. So they're not just doing, you know, like crashes and house fires and stuff like that. They're also having to deal with the racetrack and with any type of water rescue that they have to do. You know, so we think it's really important to donate to them.
oh,
So-
I love that.
So we're gonna do a couple of things, you know, like over 4th of July, I've got a firefighter boot, I'm gonna do a fill the boot. So
Love
that,
that.
you know, so that we can try to fill that up to donate to them.
Right.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of people around there, so.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, so if everybody could keep their eyes out for that.
Absolutely.
Or to donate to your local fire department.
Absolutely.
The ones that are volunteer, it's very important.
We love the fire department. My house burned down when I was little. So that's like a big, I'm constantly, that's why I think I have such a hard time lighting this fire down here because it's like a constant fear. But, yeah, people, it's like the people that you don't think of until it's like the worst day of your life.
It's the worst day of your life, right?
And then those are like the most important people in your life.
And Crystal Fire Department is 100% volunteer.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, it's their community trying to help keep their community safe.
Yes.
You know, so
That's
I think it's really
That
important.
is really important and beautiful, and I love that you're giving back to the community. That's a
We're trying
big and
to.
an important part too. I know. Well, you're
Yeah,
only
we're trying
120
to.
days, but you know, as the
But-
fact that you're already thinking
You're
about
already
that
doing
is
it,
incredible.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You just have the mentality, and that's just what the cannabis community I think is about. Is we're just care about nature, we care about
Right,
others,
right.
you know, and it's just nice for people to see that the cannabis community gives back as well. You know, it's good
I
for the
love
people
that.
who are naysayers to see it. You know.
Yes, that's the best part because this is what's gonna change the stigma. This is what's gonna make it so we're not like hiding in the shadows, like
Right,
trying to like be secretive about it. Like no,
Right.
like we use weed and this is our community and look at we do good things. Like we're not bad people.
Right. I've been fairly lucky that the Crystal community has been so open arms.
That's awesome.
The Historical Society, I just posted on our Facebook how I got with them last summer to post, you know, to get some pictures of Crystal, the old time pictures from the Historical Society. So what they did is they went out and had them put on canvas.
Oh wow.
So I've got big canvas pictures of how Crystal is, and they did a summer scene. They're going to do a winter scene for me, and then they'll be changing them so that we can also help to educate people that come in that aren't part of
Oh my
Crystal.
God.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to see this. Like
they're so cool. They are so beautiful.
that's
The
amazing.
pictures.
Yeah, and any events that you have coming up? Because I know you just had one.
We did. We just had our Winterfest.
Yes.
How'd that go? It looked
That
like it
went
was
pretty
fun.
good. That went pretty good. We gave away penny pre-rolls.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
So,
sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
penny candy, but
Yeah,
adult
yeah.
version.
Right.
Yeah, so everybody came in. It was a little cold.
Yeah.
It was a little cold.
But it's
so,
a winter festival.
Yep, and then
You know.
we had a few customers that we had told them if they did the polar plunge, that we would reward them for that because that money went to the fire department.
Oh.
So I think we had 2 of them that actually did it. And
Oh my
came in.
gosh.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Clap for them,
Yes,
dude. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was cold that day.
Oh.
It was very cold that
Oh
day.
god, people that do that
Are you
like
guys planning on having any more events as the weather starts to break?
As the
Spring
weather
and
starts
summer?
to break, yeah. You know, we have the holiday